Welcome to another episode of the BPA Show. I am your host, Mr. Boggins, and with me today is my co-host, and with me pretty much every single time, actually. Pat
Every episode.
Coyote. What's up, Coach?
Thank you. What's going on, man? It's been a hell of a week. Work is crazy. Work's insane right now.
Yeah,
but we got some things to talk about, man. It's been a weird week, with OTAs starting up and kickers being released and kickers being traded. Like I don't remember the last time I saw a kicker get traded.
The chaos
like this, but yeah, man, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good. We decided this is going to be a sleeveless show only. Because that's what we do around here. That's what we do around here. Because it's so hot.
It's summer.
That's
almost
the hottest show around. To join
the best looking show.
If you guys didn't know, Coach Coyote has an OnlyFans. It's called
Only Flags. Only Flags. That's the name of our flag football teams. Only Flags. It's goated.
I absolutely love it. All right. Well, today we're going to go over the AFC West. This is our series. Obviously, we are breaking down every draft from every single team in the NFL. We figure, there's a lot of people that still want to break down these picks. We're going in the off season. Not much is happening.
Yeah.
So let's break these bad boys down.
I mean, the key thing is that, a lot of people want to give like their initial reactions to it, right? Mm-hmm. Like the knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah.
But now that the dust has kind of settled and we've had a little bit more time to look at these prospects on the team that they're drafted on, and then really kind of analyze like, how is this player going to fit with this team? What kind of what kind of talent are they going to bring to this roster?
Yep.
It's a little bit better. I like that we're taking our time with this and really making sure that we hone in on every single pick, because it's really easy to just say, oh yeah, this guy's a bad pick or that guy's a bad pick and whatever. But it's like, let's talk about it a little bit.
Who wants a quick shower when you can have a long soaky bath, my guy?
Exactly.
Good times.
Let's get into
Anyways,
let's get into it.
All right, we're starting them off with the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Raiders.
The host.
Can you bring up
2 years?
Can you bring up? You know what I'm talking about. Bring them up.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one thing. That's one thing I want to talk about here real quick. It was the most interesting thing to me about this draft is they decided to pass on a QB at least in their top 4 picks or whatnot.
Right.
Because why? Because gimme gee. They gimme gee up in here.
Look at it's so terrifying. It's every time.
Beautiful thing. Look at this guy walks into your building, right? And you're like, horny for wins. That's what you're saying.
God.
And this guy's got it.
Who cut his hair? Who cut this man's hair?
I don't think that's a who. I think it's a what. But
I think every Raiders player who is eligible, like has long hair, they should be mandated to have that haircut. I think it should just be mandated now.
They wouldn't get us in as much trouble because they wouldn't be cool enough to get in any strip clubs or
they'd get turned away. They'd be fine.
Can't do it. Sorry, can't do it.
Nope.
All right. Nope. So Raiders started off with Tyree Wilson, Michael Mayer, 2nd round, Byron Young, Alabama, Trey Tucker, Cincinnati, Jacorian Bennett,
that's an underrated pick. Yeah.
Aiden O'Connell, Christopher Smith out of Georgia, hard hitter, Amari Burney, and Nesta Jade Silvera.
Yeah.
What pops out to you first, bud?
I mean, really, the thing that pops out to me the most about this class is those first 3 picks, right? Because those are really going to be those are the impact picks. I think a lot of people were maybe expecting them to go quarterback at 7, especially with all the Will Levis drama and stuff like that. Like they were talking to Will Levis and then he was off their board and then, oh, wait, they're still interested. But they still end up getting, the second best edge defender in this class, like, and who's really like, he's kind of in that realm of what is he going to do for us? Like, he's in that like tweener phase. He's a big dude. He's not like super fast, but he's super explosive, right? And so really what they were looking for was that guy that they're going to pair with Max Crosby for the future. Obviously, Chandler Jones was their big free agent signing, and he really fell flat last year as far as production goes. The sack numbers went way down, and it was crazy because he was so productive in Arizona. But I think they're looking more towards the future. Could they have taken Will Levis there? Absolutely, but it doesn't really fit into those future plans. Then you get Michael Mayer, who gives them that like more traditional wide tight end kind of feel. He's a decent inline blocker. He's got good size, runs great routes. He's fun after the catch for a guy that's his size. And with them not re-signing Foster Moreau and then trading Darren Waller, which I think shocked everybody, but it's a classic McDaniels move. We've seen it before a million times.
Who are you? Are you good? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Like, you've got a personal problem with me? All right. See ya. Like,
hey, remember when you didn't invite me to your wedding?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here, my guy. Get out.
Oh, it's like, I mean, I think a lot of people were shocked about it. And
the wedding thing? Oh, no.
Well, no, just like the fact that they traded him, but it was like weird timing, right?
Yeah.
But like, we know because, the team that we're fans of, we've seen this before from McDaniels. He had a personal issue with a quarterback, a wide receiver, a tight end, and he shipped all of them off. He does not like he if you don't like me, I'll get rid of you. Right. So I like the Mayer pick. I think it gives them that opportunity to kind of go back towards that New England style offense. And then Byron Young from Alabama, I think, was one of the more underrated defensive linemen in this class. Like, he really wasn't talked about that much, but he was super, super powerful dude. Yep. Can really influence the pocket and really fill those gaps in the run game. So that's what really stands out to me about this. I like some of the depth. I like Bennett from Maryland. I think that's a little bit of a underrated pick for them because it gives them some depth in the secondary, which is something that they need so bad. Chris Smith as well, another depth piece to that secondary, right? Aiden O'Connell in the 4th round was interesting, but like not that interesting because I know that there were other teams that were looking to move up and go get him. Maybe he just fits that style of offense better. I'm sure that he wowed McDaniels in the pre-draft process, but still, a little rich for my taste, but like a solid backup option. Is he going to play much as a rookie? I don't know. Probably not. But if he gets up to speed and he's good enough behind Jimmy G, who just had foot surgery too, didn't even know that. Like, maybe we might see Aiden O'Connell start a couple games this year.
He doesn't move anyways.
I mean, we might see Aiden O'Connell start a couple games for the Raiders this year. Oh no, I like the class. It's the Raiders though. Like I don't know if we'll see half of these guys touch the field this year.
Yeah, Gimme Gee better watch out for Chase Garbers.
Oh my god.
Or Brian Hoyer
with his little backpack.
I think it's a decent draft overall. The one that really pops for me, I think, is the Tyree Wilson. As far as Chandler Jones, they paid him a lot, and he's so 33 now, and they can't get out of that contract for a little bit. So I think it's definitely a future move for sure. Tyree Wilson definitely needs some development, but he does have the highest ceiling out of any of the edges, I believe, in that class. So we'll see. We'll see how that pans out. It's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
You still got Max Crosby on the opposite side, and you can rotate him in and really teach him up, and he's going to look real good. Michael Mayer was my favorite tight end in this draft. I think, obviously, with the loss of Darren Waller, he is going to fit right in there. Definitely a different type of tight end than Darren Waller was. Another one that really pops out, Jacorian Bennett. I think he popped a lot more at the combine. He was kind of underlooked, I think, which is funny because coming from Maryland, opposite Deontay Banks, who wasn't really looked at for a while, and then eventually he blew up, and then that made everybody look at the Maryland secondary a little bit more and see Jacorian Bennett as well. And then Jacorian Bennett is like, you know what? I'm gonna run the shit out of this 40.
Yeah, really
popped. So they don't have anything in that secondary, really.
No, I mean, it's
Nate Hobbs is the only one who really is.
I mean, Duke Shelley's not terrible, but like he's
terrible.
Serviceable.
Trayvon Moraig hasn't really done I don't think he is what they were hoping he was, and they don't really have a tendency of picking up great safeties, where I think Christopher Smith actually could have more of a chance than people think to actually get quite a few reps in, because behind Moraig they have Marcus Epps, who they got from Philly, who
it's serviceable. Their secondary is just full of guys, like it's just full of dudes that like they're not great, but they're not like they're just, you just got to do your job, and if they can do their job, it's fine, but like it's not going to move the needle for anybody, right?
Absolutely.
Like Moraig is fine. It's not great, but he's fine, right? Epps is fine. He's not great, but he's fine. You know, Shelley, Fassison, David Long, like Amik Robertson, like they're all fine. They can do certain things well, but like they're not all gonna, you're not gonna shut anybody down with that secondary.
I just think this is one of those rosters where the coaching staff might think they're smarter than they actually are.
Well,
and they don't.
That is the case a lot of times with Josh McDaniels, and it's sad because like that is the case. He's just one of those dudes that like think they know so much, and then it's just like you don't really know that much, man.
Yeah, and also I wish they would have addressed receiver a little bit more too, because they don't. Besides Devontae Adams, they have Hunter Renfrow, who is a solid. Oh, he's a solid slot receiver. Yeah. But I am not. I would like them to see another. I see them pick up another, like a solid Z, and I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, they have Jacoby Myers. Like Jacoby Myers is going to be their Z, which like, like he'll go off every now and then. Philip Dorsett, again, just a Z, like that's a burner guy. They did get Keelan Cole. He's got some flashes, and Cam Sims too. Cam Sims is one of those guys who like he's not going to be a super consistent receiver,
so old.
But he's like Cam Sims is going to give you a few good, a few big catches here and there. So it's not like a wow, like their receiver room is so good. Like, no, it's just fine.
Yep. Okie dokie. Moving on to the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't know why they're Irish all of a sudden, but I think it makes them sound cooler. They obviously went where everyone was thinking they were gonna go. Wide receivers to start it off. Quentin Johnson out of TCU, and then to Tuli Tuipulotu. Is that terrible? Was that real bad?
Awful. Yeah. There's lots of vowels.
Tuli Tuipulotu.
Tuipulotu.
Gosh.
Tuipulotu.
It's tough, there we go. I like the Diane Henley pick. That was good.
That was great value for them too.
No kidding. Darius Davis, Jordan McFadden, Scott Matlock, and the Max Duggan.
Three TCU players.
I'll start off with this one.
Yeah.
The one that pops off to me, I'm going to say, is the Diane Henley one out of Washington, the team that will not be talked about.
The Cougars.
No.
Wazoo.
Stud linebacker. I think they love their linebackers there, although they haven't really panned out every time. But I really like Diane Henley. I think he's a very versatile linebacker who will be a very solid guy to add into that core. I think the Jordan McFadden one was, I don't know. I don't want to say it's a bit of a reach. It's round 5. I'm just not a huge Jordan Madden guy. Darius Davis, speed guy, who I just feel like
that's what they need, though.
Yeah, but they have Guyton already over there, so
it doesn't matter though. Like that's one dude. That's one dude, and Johnson is not like a super burner. He's got great after the catch speed, but like they need pure speed, dude.
No, because with Quentin Johnson, you're kind of, him, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen's still there.
Old as shit.
And the Max Duggan one is, I guess, you don't really have.
Easton Stick is their backup. Which, like,
I have never heard that name in my entire life.
What? North Dakota State? Easton Stick? Legend, bro.
I have never heard that name.
He was the quarterback at NDSU after Carson Wentz.
He
was there after Carson.
What a name. What a name.
He's got some
East on Dick.
Oh, you stop that.
I said what? What did I say? It's crazy. They got some cool names. The fullback is Xander Horvath. And Easton Stick. Wow. And Stone Smart.
Mm-hmm. I love the Diane Henley pick for them. Like you said, they've had some bad luck with linebackers. Kenneth Murray, obviously, that pick was not a great selection, but they did bring in Eric Kendricks, so that's big. That's big for Henley, honestly. Like, learn from a veteran like Eric Kendricks. But I like this draft class, man. I like this draft class for the Chargers because you're filling needs. Like, your top 3 picks fill such large needs for them. Obviously Quentin Johnston being that first one. I think the majority of people knew that they were going to go receiver, but like, there were still people out there that believed that the Chargers should take an edge with their first pick. And I just could not have disagreed more. I felt like you're paying so much money at that position right now. And even with Thule, like, he's not really an edge. He's kind of like a hybrid dude, but like, he's much better inside. He's got a lot of power, and he did things at USC, much like what Tampa Bay has done with Vita Vea, where they've put him outside to rush off the edge, but it's really just to blow shit up. Like, it's not like, he's not going to be super technical with pass rush moves. Like, he's just there to be a wrecker. So I really like that pick for them because, interior wise, like, they're super solid interior wise, but some of those guys are going to be coming off the books in a couple years. So Sebastian Joseph Day, his contract's going to be up after next year, I believe. And then Austin Johnson, who has been very good for them, super solid, but it just provides them with a little more depth on that defensive front. But yeah, man, like, they needed receiver, and they needed a receiver bad. I think Johnston fills that role of the true Z for them, where Mike Williams can be the X, Johnson can be the Z, and Keenan Allen can kind of be that slot, let's move him inside outside kind of dude. But it's just about getting him the ball and getting the ball in his hands. After that, he'll take care of the rest. Yeah. Darius Davis, that's your speed guy, right? You want to get the speed out there, have Guyton, Davis in there. And then it's just depth after that. Like, is Max Duggan going to be an impact dude in camp? He's going to battle with Easton Stick for sure. But is he going to be like their backup going into the season? I just don't know. And McFadden and Matlock, obviously, just depth. If McFadden can play inside, I think that's better for them. But yeah, it's just depth at that point.
I do wish that I think the Chargers had opportunities to go elsewhere. Like receiver-wise, they could have gotten Tyler Scott. They could have gotten
they could have gone in other ways for sure.
I think it's an all right class, and I think you are right. It will fill a lot of holes, but they have someone named Xander Horvath on their team. That's cool.
A great name for a fullback.
A+.
Great name for a fullback.
You know what, Chargers? If there are Charger fans out there, you A+. All right, moving on to the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Felix Enrique Uzoma out of Kansas State. Rashee Rice at SMU. SMU doesn't really put out very many good receivers, so there's that.
I'm sorry, what?
It's a joke if none of you all know. Wanye Morris, named after Wanye Morris from Boyz II Men.
Hell yeah.
Not a joke. Makes him the coolest player in the draft out of Oklahoma. Shamari Connor out of Virginia Tech. BJ Thompson out of Stephen F. Austin.
Yep.
Why can't I talk today? Keandre Coburn out of Texas and Nick Jones out of Ball State. Yeah, man. What kind of pops off to this one for you?
Yeah, this draft class to me, this draft class screams development, depth and development. Obviously, Anuduke Uzoma, I know a lot of people may have been like scratching their heads with that one at 31. We were talking before the show and we talked about that. The one guy that was like, oh yeah, they only drafted him because he was a local kid. And And it's like, no, he's a scheme fit. That's why they drafted him. Like, you don't necessarily like, if you don't study the prospect, that's fine. Like, just say that, but this just screams draft and development. Uzoma is a scheme fit for them. He's not going to be pressured to start. He's not going to be pressured to play in year one. He's going to get a chance to learn the defense, get those key reps in games, and then come in next year and be a starter. I definitely think that he's more built like the edge rushers that they want. Like, they took Karlaftis last year, right? And what did they do with Karlaftis? Karlaftis, to me, was a tweener. I didn't see him fitting in that system, but he did a great job of fitting in. And of course, he's playing next to Mr. Jones, so that's a good thing for them. But I do like Rashee Rice to the Chiefs. I think that's a big weapon for them. They really need wide receiver help. Sky Moore is coming along. It's not, not where everybody thought it was going to be, but he is coming along. Kadarius Toney, can he stay healthy? Can he, not pull the shit that he pulled in New York? And then MVS was reliable for them to a point last year, but we still saw those times where he would kind of like, those laps in concentration. All in all, I like this class for them. They pick up some depth in the secondary, which is great in Connor and Jones. I don't know if Jones is going to crack that final roster, but again, this is like depth, special teams. Wanye Morris is a guy who will develop into a good offensive tackle. We talked about him during our offensive line series. This could be a big get for them. If he can develop into a decent starting tackle in the NFL, that's all they need. That's all you need. You have Andy Reid, who was one of the better offensive line coaches in the NFL for a long time. And I think that he's going to be really, really great for his development in the NFL. All in all, it's a good class for the Chiefs. It's not a great class for the Chiefs, but I think that it's solid for what they're trying to do. They're still a win now team, right? They're still built to win Super Bowls right now. They haven't messed with the core of dudes. Obviously, letting Orlando Brown walk this offseason, that was more of a money thing than like a fit thing. And they ended up getting Jawan Taylor. So even Stevens, but you still have Travis, you still have Mahomes. Pacheco came along so great. You bring back McKinnon, so your offense is set there. You just need the receiving room to fill out. Defense really hasn't changed much at all. They're bringing back all the dudes, from the starting defense last year. So no worries there, but they're just adding depth at this point. That's all it is.
Yeah, I think the one that pops out for me is obviously the Wanya Morris. We talked about him a lot in our offensive line videos, and I mean I've liked him for quite a while, and it is pretty funny because he was the 5th tackle off the board. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you early that was not a thought process. And for him to go above Dwan Jones, above Blake Freeland, I think they're really aiming for the athleticism there. Mm-hmm. I think he is pretty raw.
Yeah.
And he can get worn out. Mm-hmm. However, I think there is a lot of potential there. That he could be a solid tackle for them. And obviously with them losing Orlando Brown, they also brought in Donovan Smith from Tampa. For nothing, for no monies. So they have a good rotational piece that they can put in there and try and develop and groom him up. But I like that pick. The Rashee Rice, I really like as well. I think in that core of they don't really have a star receiver anymore, right? But it doesn't really matter. I think they've come to terms with the fact it doesn't matter because they have Mahomes. And as long as they adapt to Andy Reid's system and they know what they're doing and what they're supposed to do, and they can play backyard ball a bit with Mahomes.
Yeah.
You're good. You're straight. And I think Rashee Rice can do just that.
Yeah.
So
I think I was just going to speak on Shamari Connor for a quick second. It's important to note, I mean, he played 5 years at VT. So comes in with plenty of playing experience. 7.5 sacks. 7.5 sacks in 5. He had 5.5 in his first full season. He had 5.5 sacks, 10 for loss, and 19 pass deflections in his college career. This is going to be a solid guy for them in coverage, but I feel like this is more of like, this is a guy who's not afraid to come down and stop the run.
No,
and that is Kansas City Chiefs defense right there. Like, we're going to stop the run. We're going to contain the outside. We're going to keep everything close to the line of scrimmage. We need guys who can come down and attack the line and stop from big runs happening. Willie Gay has been really good at that. His sideline to sideline is fun to watch. But this draft class, for this draft pick and this draft class, screams to me like we are going to develop these guys. Connor is probably going to be a special teamer, come in sub packages and stuff like that. But this is a guy we're going to defend run. We're going to stop the run, whatever it takes.
I am surprised they didn't go, I think, in such a solid tight end class. I am surprised they didn't decide to go that route because Travis Kelce is getting up there. And I just think this would be the perfect time to try and develop, not necessarily his replacement, but someone who can be a similar role for Patrick Mahomes, because I do believe that is a big deal.
Yeah. I think they're doing a good job with the other guys that they have there. I mean, Fortson's fine. Gray's been like, those guys have come in and played, like Blake Bell also. Like, these are guys that have come in and like they play their role nicely. And that's really just all you need. Like, you don't need to have Travis Kelce all the time. Like, and now they know. My wife is sitting over here. She's a big Travis Kelce fan. But as he continues to age and get older, the need, like, they already have those guys in place, and they do a good enough job to where it's like, we don't need to address it this year.
Yeah, but I just wish they would have had someone with a higher ceiling to really take that on later on. Like if they could have snagged a Luke Musgrave, that would have been dope, because
Or Will Mallory.
Yeah, like a little deeper for sure. But I get it. I like I said, you are so confident in your coaching staff and your quarterback. It's hard to go wrong. You're just building depth and hoping that they get groomed up at this point. You're kind of like going former Packers moves where you just had a solid roster behind Aaron Rodgers, and you're just like, okay, we're going to keep building and build and develop. And that's kind of what they're doing right now.
Yeah. And I mean, Payne Durham went 5 picks after Thompson. So like, I mean, there was a guy. It's like there were guys on the board. Like Will Mallory was still on the board at 162. So not that far away. Davis Allen also went at 175.
How old is Kelsey right now?
He was drafted in 13. And Zach Kuntz.
34.
Zach Kuntz, who really, like, if you were looking for the next Travis Kelce in this draft, it was probably Kuntz. And he went in the 7th round at 220. At 220.
Yeah.
And I mean, the production, whatever, like you can say he wasn't very productive at Old Dominion. He was going fucking ham a couple years ago, and he's like 6'7", massive dude, and ran like he ran like a 4.9 or 4.8, like just stupid fast.
I honestly can see Travis Kelce and Andy Reid being gone within the next 2 years.
Oh, very realistic.
I think they're. I just think they're sitting pretty right now. What they got, and they don't plan. I think they're not thinking after that, right? They're just like, we're gonna win. We're gonna win again. We're gonna, like, doesn't matter. We have all the pieces. We're good. And then they might have to go into a full rebuild after that. But
yeah, it's gonna, it is gonna be a shame when Andy does decide to call it quits, because he really is one of the greatest football minds that we have ever seen. What he did in Philly was nothing short of spectacular. Yeah. What he did in Kansas City when he took over that Chiefs team, that organization was in shambles, and they were still in shambles. Like those first couple years they were doing with off the field stuff, classic Chiefs things, but like what he did with that team and how he was able to turn that whole organization around, and the success that they've had in these last 6-7 years is nothing short of spectacular. And Chiefs fans should be very grateful for what he did. Same with Travis, and eventually the time will come when Patrick Mahomes is leaving, and that's going to be like when Elway retired for the Broncos, right? Like it's going to be one of those things where it's like, we need to praise them. So hopefully they do. Hopefully they understand that, like, that time is going to come sooner or later, and it's going to come within the next 2-3 years when Kelsey's gone, Reed is gone, and it's going to be like a now what,
Yep.
Is Cliff Kingsbury going to take over as the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs when Andy Reid decides to retire? Are we going to see a reunion, a Texas Tech reunion? Patrick Mahomes is going to throw for 40 touchdowns and 40 interceptions in a single season. What? They're going to go 6-11. What? No, can't.
It'd be crazy.
You heard it here first, folks. Cliff Kingsbury attached to Kansas City job post Andy Reid.
Yeah, my worst fear. Okay, my Broncos fandom is showing right now.
Okay,
my worst fear is that Andy Reid retires, and then either Kalen DeBoer or Ryan Grubb come over. That would be a problem.
Yeah,
that would be woo.
Well, realistically, here's what's going to happen. AI is going to get so advanced in the next 2-3 years that Andy Reid is just going to retire. But the new head coach,
Bandy Deed is
no, the new head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be hologram Andy Reid, and it's just they're gonna like upload his thoughts into AI, and then it's gonna be like, all right, coach, what are we gonna play? Processing.
He's gonna win games and hack your iCloud at the same time. Damn, that sucks.
Be
all right. All right, on to the last one. The Denver Broncos. Round 2, Marvin Mims, Oklahoma, Drew Sanders, Arkansas, Riley Moss, Iowa, and JL Skinner, Boise State. Oh, I didn't get that whole entire list there.
One.
I am missing one on there. Alex Forsyth out of Oregon. Ugh.
Sco.
Who?
Sco. Yeah, listen. It's 2023 and the Broncos traded up to draft a white guy at cornerback. Wait. Super Bowl is ours.
Yeah.
Super Bowl is ours. Are you kidding me? Do you understand? Riley Moss is going to No, I can't. We can't go there.
Get out of there.
We can't
get out of there. Come back to reality.
The amount of accusations that are going to fly. Are you kidding me? Jeez.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on Denver trading up for Marvin Mims. What do you think?
I think it was an aggressive move by I really think it was I don't know the ins and outs of it from the player personnel side. But to me, this feels like a aggressive move by Sean Payton to address the wide receiver room.
Yeah.
Obviously, this offseason was full of wide receiver drama with the Denver Broncos. Cortland Sutton is basically traded away to Baltimore and then not traded away to Baltimore. That's a fact. All the rumors flying about like Broncos are going to trade a receiver. Which one is it going to be? Sutton or Judy? Maybe both. Like
all of them at the same time.
No one really knows, right?
Yeah.
So then they bring in Marquez Callaway. That was a big signing for them. He was with Sean Payton. They bring in Lil Jordan Humphrey at the end of last season, or after they signed Sean Payton. That's big for them because he's a key contributor in the run game and blocking and stuff like that. And then there are just so many other question marks, right? KJ Hamler is injured. Oh my God, he's like, is he ever going to play again? And this whole like trade drama with Sutton and Judy made it feel like Sean Payton doesn't feel good about where they're at. So trading up for Mims, like Mims as a prospect, probably one of my favorite wide receivers to watch. Not the biggest dude, has burners, plays way bigger than he is. And this is the thing. He is going to be the team's punt returner from day one. That is the key right there, because Montreal, Washington, you're out, right? KJ, you got to be on the field. They don't really want him returning kicks anyways. So that's done. Jalen Virgil doesn't have a ton of experience with it. Callaway has some experience returning punts, but like not super reliable with it. So you go get Marvin Mims. Not only can he be a key contributor on offense, but he can be a key contributor on special teams. And that's the theme of this whole class, right? Yeah, they trade up for Mims, make whatever you want out of it. But Mims, special teams, Sanders, special teams, Moss, special teams, Skinner, special teams. Do we get the recurring theme here? They're building a special teams unit that is going to be young, athletic, and also they can help on their other respective sides of the ball. Alex Forsyth, getting him in the 7th round, huge, because this guy has a lot of potential to be a good starting center in the NFL. A lot of pundits have said it. Former Ducks have come out and said, Jeff Schwartz was the guy who came out and said, this guy's going to be a 10-year starter in the league. Book it, right? And that's like, this is the theme. we're building for the future, but we're also building to have a good special teams unit this year. That's my thoughts on trading up for Marvin Mims.
I think Marvin Mims gives a lot of versatility because it's not, what is it now? Week 8? Is it week 8 now? The trade deadline?
I think so.
Yeah. It's not week 8 yet. Like a receiver could still very well get traded. And you don't know if KJ Hamler is going to be able to stay healthy because he has not been able to do so far.
Yeah.
And like you said, Montreal, Washington, I love you, but it wasn't a good rookie season. And so I think he is definitely on the hot seat there.
He's probably gone. He's the fact is he's probably gone.
I think it depends on how. I think he has potential to be on the practice squad and maybe get called up if there is an injury to the receiver core, to where Marvin Mims is going to get one of those like higher rep roles. Then you may see Montreal, Washington coming back if he can get his hands right, for sure, and his decision making a little bit better. The Drew Sanders pick, it was interesting because you thought he was going to go quite a bit earlier than that, right?
Yeah.
Some people had him as their number 1 overall linebacker.
I did not see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I know he wasn't your favorite guy in the world, and he's not. Like, I think he's very athletic.
Yeah.
Very, like,
he's still
I say this all the time, but like see ball, get ball kind of guy.
Yeah.
However, so far he's been, I guess, looking pretty good in rookie minicamp. Just picking, like showing his coverage ability, which is like that's something that he was not renowned for. So that's something that's good. I know it's just rookie minicamp, but it's still good to see that he has that quick twitch ability as a giant inside linebacker. The Riley Moss one was okay for me. I just don't see a super high ceiling on Riley Moss, and I was hoping for someone that, like, because I think the secondary right now is fine. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I think the secondary is really good. I think the cornerback depth specifically on one side has question marks, and I think that Riley Moss doesn't really move the needle a bunch. I was hoping for someone that had a higher ceiling that could maybe sit and then be groomed, and Riley Moss is not that guy. However, I think he will be, I don't know, I just see him a lot more on special teams than I do being able to beat out Damari Mathis. So I will see. We'll see. Who knows? The dude had, I was like low 40s passer rating. So he has skills. He's just not like the quickest twitch, the fastest guy, the biggest dude.
I think the key with him is the athleticism, right? He is a freak athlete. Like he is a freak athlete. Probably I mean, he had like top 2, top 3 athletic score among cornerbacks, like crazy burst. And the key with him is 11 PBUs last year.
Yeah.
The ball skills are there. It's consistent. 26 PBUs in his college career. Granted, he only played 7 games as a true freshman, 4 games in his sophomore year. I think he was either injured or was down the depth chart, but then 8 games, 11 games, 13 games. And in each of those seasons, he had 2 interceptions, 4 interceptions, and 1 interception respectively, excuse me. And then 4 PBUs, 5 PBUs, and 11 PBUs in his last season. And then he did some kick returning in his final year at Iowa. But I think that this isn't going to be a guy that we're going to be like, oh yeah, he's going to be starting. No, this is a sub cornerback, but like, hey, shout out to Broncos Avenue, man. He's an athletic cornerback, and he's going to be able to produce on special teams. And again, that is the theme: special teams, special teams, special teams. If he can come in and provide quality reps against wide receivers, fantastic, right? That's all we need. We just need you to do your job. He's got the athleticism to keep up with good wide receivers. He's got the ball skills to play at the next level. But can he get past that? Can he get past Amari Mathis? I don't think so. I think right now we just need to see him do well on special teams. Maybe in those nickel and dime situations where K'Wan Williams is either tired or he's dealing with an injury or whatever. Maybe we see Moss go outside, Mathis go inside. Maybe they bring this next dude in. I don't know, but I do like Moss. I like his athleticism. I think that people need to stop shitting on him. Let's stop making.
I'm not shitting.
I know you're not shitting.
I like him, but I don't.
He's become a meme. He's become a meme. Like,
yeah, no, that's
what it is.
Oh, I mean, look like Gardner Minshew be covering people.
The Broncos really traded up for a white wide receiver or a white cornerback. Like, ooh, guess what? There's another white cornerback at Iowa who's even better than that. And he's going to be drafted probably in the first 2 rounds next year. So what's going to happen then? What team is going to take that dude? He's a much better corner than Riley Moss was in college. Like, let's chill the fuck out. All right. Times are changing. Relax. That's my rant. There we go. Guess what? I played cornerback too. They nicknamed me Patty Island for a reason.
Patty Island.
Because I did not. Hey, listen.
I'm listening. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. So
I'll shut shit down.
I'll
play off. I'll play press. You ain't getting off the line if I press you. But
I don't know about that. I'm pretty big. That's a hard one to.
I don't give a. I'll get right up in your chest, lift you up off the ground.
Oh
shit. Anyways. Tell us
pure. I was going to reply to this real quick. Moss, pure slot corner. Disagree.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Disagree.
I like him outside. I think he has the athleticism to play outside.
He has to. I think he has to be an outside corner. Then JL Skinner, love. We have the depth right now at safety. Although people don't want to admit that for some reason because they forget about like PJ Locke and they think. I mean, Caden Stearns was looking good as well. Just brought back K-Jack. Skinner is a bigger K-Jack. Like you put him in the box.
Cam Chancellor
vibe. Yeah.
Cam Chancellor
hard vibe. Cam Chancellor vibe.
That's what we see.
Wreck you. Will we get penalties from JL Skinner? 100%.
1,000%. That dude is a menace. He was a menace at the Senior Bowl, and he's going to be a menace in the league. And
1,000%. Yeah.
182 picks really messed up. Hey, Chris. Yeah, Skinner should be number 0.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Cooper took number 0. I don't mind that.
I do.
I don't mind Coop being 0.
I just want because I made the edit already, and it just looks so cool. Last pick. I don't know why when I copied and pasted these from PFF, they had Alex Forsyth in New Orleans. So no. And then I guess we could mention that's also before this is where they traded for Adam Troutman. Maybe that's where they got confused. Maybe that's where PFF got confused.
Yeah, it is because it was still like that for a while, and they still had Troutman in New Orleans too, which it's like okay,
yeah,
whatever.
Okay, so Alex Forsyth, I think, is my favorite pick of this draft for the Denver Broncos because I think he's a very underrated center who could start within the next, to be completely honest, I am not confident in Lloyd Cushenberry pretty much at all. I think that even though Alex Forsyth is going to be a rookie and he's coming from the 7th round, I think he has the skill set to be solid enough to start with it. I would say halfway through the season, if Lloyd Cushenberry does not step up his game. First will be a starter, and Bo Nix will be coming to Denver. Get out of here. Half of that is
Chris.
Get out of here with the Bo Nix crap.
Chris,
Forsyth, yes. Bo Nix,
Forsyth,
get out of here.
Chris, unless Moorhead is coming to Denver to be our OC, I want Bo Nix nowhere near.
Listen, edit this
listen,
to say
that's coming from a Ducks fan. That's coming from a Ducks
Jr.
fan. Coming from a Ducks fan.
If
Joe Moorhead is not the OC in Denver with Bo Nix at quarterback, I don't want him.
Yep, that's fair.
Okay,
that's fair.
Because Bo Nix last year, he had his moments. He had his moments, but there were a lot of really bad moments too. And the Civil War, I will never get out of my mind because there were some really bad. I know he was playing hurt. But
such a good game though.
There were really bad decisions made in that game.
We should have a movie night and just watch that game again together.
We should not.
We should. It was so good.
I don't want to relive that. I do not want to relive that. Also, just to note, Riley Moss had an 81 coverage grade, according to PFF. Take that as you will, whatever. But no slouch. Also, he's 6'1", 193. That's pretty good size for a corner. Anyways, I digress. 10 snaps in the slot, Chris.
Yeah.
10 snaps in the slot. Hear me out. If Wilson plays the next 3 years, can Nick stay and learn? If Nick stays behind Russell Wilson for 3 years after this next year, Nick will be like 31 years old.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Chris. That sounds like absolute hell to me. I don't want that to happen. I just don't.
Chris, thank you. Thank you for this, because is Russ going to be the quarterback next year?
Yeah,
we don't even know.
I want you to go and watch some Michael Penix Jr. though. That's what I want you to go watch. Watch some Michael Penix. Yeah. So do you agree? Do you agree? What do you think about? Are you in the same headspace as he could beat out Lloyd Cushenberry, because we don't really have anybody else on the roster that is pushing for? I mean, Luke Wattenberg, as much as he's from UW, and that is just automatically makes him a future Hall of Famer. Okay. I don't think Luke Wattenberg has the strength to. No,
hell no.
He just doesn't have it.
I saw Luke Wattenberg get sunned by Chris Jones too many times.
Yeah.
Everybody gets I do think that Alex Forsyth is the only person. Kyle Fuller doesn't really move the needle for me. But Chris, yeah, absolutely right. He could win the starting job. It's a very real thing. Lloyd is a very, very nice person. Mm-hmm. He is very loved in the locker room. Yep. He's a really hard worker. As much as I want to say he hasn't been playing well, none of our offensive line played well last year. And this is a completely different scheme. I think this might be a scheme if Lloyd spent the offseason training really hard and really focusing on the lower half explosiveness and the lower half power. This could be a really good scheme for him. I think that it could be a good run blocking scheme for him because it could utilize his strengths. He won't have that much to do. The problem is Alex Forsyth is such a smart player, and he is coming in really strong. He played really well against a lot of top talent this last year, and he was the quarterback of that offensive line, a very good offensive line, mind you. So if he comes in, he learns the protections right away, and he plays his ass off and he works really hard, he is going to be the only person that's going to push Lloyd Cushenberry. I like Lloyd. I think that this would be a great system for him, but I think that Alex Forsyth is just going to work a little bit harder, and he's going to come in and probably earn that job if he plays his cards right. So
our lads kind of has an interesting roster here with Zach Allen on one side, Jonathan Harris on the other, and then DJ Jones at nose, and then Mike Purcell is
Mike's probably going to be the nose.
I would say
Mike's probably going to be the nose.
I don't think DJ is long enough for that.
No. Yeah, and it'll be Allen, Purcell, and Jones.
Yeah,
I would love to see Uwazuriki come around.
I hope so.
You know, Matt Henningsen played a lot last year too. So I think the takeaway from this class is like they didn't address edge, which whatever, like maybe that's a thing that they're looking forward to next year. But
maybe that's what they see Drew Sanders as.
And that's what I was going to say. Like I was talking with Troy Rank on Monday and he was talking about like how Sanders can kind of play all over the place. And we were talking and we were like, Micah Parsons.
That's what I think. Like you look at
Baron
Browning, who had similar numbers to Micah Parsons as far as like athleticism, like RAS score and stuff, and him being super versatile at Ohio State. I don't see Drew Sanders being that far off from the same idea of where you have a lot of options with that just size and athleticism. So who knows? I think if you need it at a certain point, he might be. I mean, he's going to be insane and like blitzing down the A gap, man. Just
big like. And Vance Joseph is a very creative blitzer, so that's going to be a great thing for him. Chris just asked another great question. Denver's famous for undrafted free agents, so who could be that next guy for defense? I'm gonna say two names. One is from last year's undrafted class.
I was going to say the same thing.
Chris Allen, he reminds me of Melvin Ingram. Like he's a big, bulky dude. And like I saw him in person and he is massive. Just need him to be healthy and maybe a little bit more bendy, like a little bit more fluid. He's not very fluid. He's stiff, but he's massive and he knows how to set an edge pretty well. So that could be the dude. The other dude is PJ Mustapher. Coming into camp, he was the dude that everybody was talking about. Like he was a guy who was just wrecking shit and he's a presence on the field. Like I think that's probably going to be the guy.
I was going to say the same thing with Chris Allen. I think another guy is Jaleel McLaughlin.
I'm sorry, what?
Dude, I can't speak.
McLaughlin.
All right. I don't know why I have a podcast. Why? I can't talk in the first place. Jaleel McLaughlin, I think, has a lot of opportunity to be somewhat. I don't know if he's going to make the 53, but I think it's maybe. I think he has a lot of good pass catching ability, and he's got a lot of speed, and it's something that I think that everything could utilize.
Yeah. Everything is up for grabs in that running back room right now. Like even with Javonte coming back, everything is up for grabs. Like, and it's pretty like they're gonna have some tough decisions to make because like Tony Jones Jr. like he can provide some things. Crockett was there.
Crockett. I like the potential there.
Tyler Beatty too. Like he showed a couple flashes, and then Jacques Patrick, like a big dude. Like they brought in big backs for a reason. Like they're going to pound the ball. Don't be surprised if we keep like 4 running backs, 4 or 5 running backs. Like really, don't be shocked. Going into this season, I think we see 6 wide receivers. I think we see 4 tight ends. I think we see like 4 running backs plus the fullback, Michael Burton. No, like huge signing too, stealing the fullback away from Kansas City.
An actual fullback.
Is
right, so let's go. Back? I know. Oh, don't stop. All right, so let's go back through this real quick. Give me your quick grade on
okay. Quick grade for the Raiders. I'm gonna call this a B minus. B minus for the top 3. Yeah, I really like them. B minus for the top 3, and they got some good depth guys in there. But
C plus.
Okay. Give me a grade. Let's go.
C.
Whoa. Okay.
C.
I give this a B plus.
Ugh.
Yeah. I really like this class for them.
I like no. Um,
This gets a C+ for me. This gets a C+ for me. Maybe.
That's fine. I agree.
Yeah. Oh,
shit.
It.
Shit.
You almost the whole show.
It's so good without saying I agree. C.
I think
C+. C+.
I think B-. B- here.
C+. The Alex Forsyth won me back.
I might have to change mine to a B. I just think these are all like solid contributors on special teams, which is like such an impact on the game. Yeah. But they're all going to develop, like they all have the potential to develop into quality starters. That's the thing. It's like Marvin Mims is probably going to be a starter next year. Let's be honest. Drew Sanders, probably going to be a starter next year. Riley Moss will be like back and forth. JL Skinner has the potential to be that rotating safety. And then Forsyth could be a starter. If you get a 7th round pick as a starter,
yeah,
anything for Denver. Chris, anything for Denver is an A+.
Anything for Denver. So what about Joe Flacco?
Oh, come on now.
Well, this has been great episode. Guess what? We love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, we'll see you next week for another division. And we'll grade them. We haven't done an F yet. We should give someone an F. Next week we will try hard to give someone an F.
You know what?
I forgot where we're at. We did NFC South.
You know what? I'm gonna give.
So next week is NFC West. Yeah. NFC West is next week. That's some good ones.
Washington.
Arizona traded everything. Yeah, I don't know. No. The Rams. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see with that Stetson Bennett, guys.
Oh boy.
Okay, we might have some.
We might have our first F.
We have our first F. All right, everybody. Like and subscribe. We love you all. Thanks for tuning in.